Gun Freak Nation. It's the president, TElectrik, and I feel like we are standing right there. Literally, this is the eve of alt-right war. I think the United States, I think Trump is about to jump in. I think he see how, they got Iran. It ain't looking good for them. It's like they standing on their last leg. You feel me? And I feel like when the United States jump in, because it ain't an if, it's when. It's gonna be the final. It's gonna be the last nail in their coffin. But I'm telling y'all, listen, Gun Freak Nation, I need y'all to be prepared for something that has never been seen before. I still feel that when the United States jump in, and every indication that I'm seeing on the news is that they are. They evacuating the U.S. embassy over in Jerusalem. What happened when they did that over in Iraq, when they evacuated the embassy over in Iraq? Was it a day later that Israel started the war, when they did their preemptive strikes? So I just can't, see Trump not delivering the final blow, because the way they see it, the government see it, and Israel see it, Iran was the head of all of the shit that was happening, all of the unstableness, all of the proxy wars, and so right now, Israel is trying to decapitate the head of the monster that is, funding all these proxy groups. Everybody, and uh, I'm trying not to be political. I'm just calling it for what it is. And I do believe that it will be some blowback behind this. Number one, you got a lot of U.S. assets, including troops, that's over in the Middle East in these air bases in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, uh, uh, Jordan. They all over. Israel. So when Trump get involved, the U.S. get involved, don't think that they are already targets. Don't think that Iran is not going to target them. They already got them, lined up. So it's going to be a mess. But what a lot of people is not anticipating is the blowback from this. See, what a lot of people not thinking, this situation, it could come home, y'all. It can come home. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but thank you to the previous administration for leaving them borders open for the last 4 years. You cannot tell me that Iran and a lot of other countries that is enemies to the United States didn't, I'm not going to say smuggle their operatives over here, because they came right over. Right through an open border where millions of people came through. Think about this. Millions of people crossed that border the last 4 years. They had 4 years. And I just feel like when they operatives or terror cells get the orders to activate, the situation is going to be crazy. You know, what sparked all this off was what, like a year ago or so, October 7th, 2023, when you had thousands of Hamas, which is a proxy of Iran, crossed over in a surprise attack. Thousands of people lost their lives in that attack. Thousands of people depended on the police, depended on the military, but they never came. Thousands of people who didn't have guns. I didn't know at that particular time, I did not know that Israel had a strict gun policy. Of all places, you would think they would want their citizens to be armed just in case a situation like that. But they wasn't. And they ended up being victims. They ended up being unalived, slaughtered. And everybody know what happened because of that, man. Of course, Israel hit back and Hamas decimated it. Israel even turned their attention on Hezbollah. See, what y'all don't know is back in the day, Iran put together proxy groups throughout the Middle East, right? And they basically were surrounding Israel. So Iran felt safe because they had insurance, right? That if they get attacked, they can have their proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, they can all fire thousands of rockets and missiles into Israel, decimating it. Iran no longer has that insurance no more because of what the idiots Hamas did on October the 7th. They decimated. Hezbollah has been defeated and decimated. The leader, Assad, in Syria, he was overthrown. Because you got to remember, it was Iran, Russia, Hezbollah. They all helped Assad stay in power. But he got overthrown. So if you look at it from the Israelis' perspective, this is the perfect time to get Iran when it's at its weakest. Nobody's going to come to its aid. Nobody is helping them. So why wouldn't the United States join in? This is about to be an epic battle where they about to finally put to rest that regime over there. This is about regime change. They don't want them to have nuclear weapons, but it's also about regime change. And I just feel like in the midst of this new war that's about to happen, because it's already happening between Israel and Iran. And don't be fooled. The United States is playing a role in this. They just denying it on paper. But of course they happen and coordinating the strikes. And, Trump just said we got control over the skies. He's telling on himself. So it's just a matter of time before the U.S. start bombing them. They need the bunker busters. If they want to reach 30 stories down in their underground nuclear facility, they're going to need that bunker buster, probably several of them, to destroy it. But the U.S. must be careful, because if they do knock that regime out of power, who's next? Will it be somebody that's friendly towards the United States and Israel, or are we going to be dealing with somebody even more of a threat? That we don't know. But I'm telling you right now, like I told y'all a year or two ago, that the next war is going to be in the Middle East, and it's going to be a war between us Iran versus the United States and Iran versus, the United States and Israel versus Iran. Iran is not going to stand a chance. But I'm telling you, it's going to resort to desperate measures, man. It's going to resort to desperate actions. I feel that they are going to activate their proxy groups. They're going to activate their terrorist cells that's already deeply embedded into this country. They're going to start mining the straits of, in the Persian Gulf. They're going to start harassing ships, planting anti-ship mines. You fill your gas tanks up now, because when this shit go down, the gas prices are going to skyrocket. Get everything that you need to have, because when that war breaks out, especially if we got terrorist groups already in the country that sympathize with Iran, or they might be agents. They could be Iranian agents that's already over here. You do not want to wake up to the pounding of your door of heavily armed terrorists going door to door, unaliving people, because it's not about the days of taking hostages are over. It's about the body count now. It's about, they want a mass casualty event. Things can get ugly real fast. And it looks like, I can almost guarantee you, we are going to get involved. Trump wants to be the president where he can say during his being president, his term, he was able to prevent Iran from getting a bomb. Because report says that if this wouldn't be going on, they can assemble one within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. He don't want that to happen under his watch. So yeah, the world is crazy right now, and we got to be ready for the blowback or what's to come behind it. I don't think it's going to be that simple. Remember, Afghanistan. Remember the unnecessarily unjust war in Iraq and how Saddam, his regime, fell real fast. But look what happened. Look at the chaos. Look at the insurgency. Look at the rise of ISIS that spawned from that. The United States, George Bush, when he invaded Iraq, he did a favor for Iran. Iraq was the only country over there that kept pretty much Iran in check. They had fought a war, and when Saddam was toppled, the balance was offset, and the majority of people in Iraq is Shia. The majority of people in Iran is Shia. So if you knock off the Sunnis, which Saddam Hussein was a Sunni, then you empowered the Shias, which is, though they are literally family, cousins, or whatever. So we unknowingly went and empowered Iran. So we looking at some crazy turbulent times. We can hope for the best, but we also need to be prepared for the worst. Get armed. You just never know. You just never know. Y'all be safe out there. Listen, Gun Freak Nation, listen. Y'all, stay armed. Stay responsible with your firearms. Stay righteous. And be ready to send whoever that means good, whoever that's want to unalive you and do harm to you, send them to Funky Town. I love you, Gun Freak Nation. Salute, baby. And by the way, I want to give a special shout out to all my paid members. Members Only Volume 2 is coming soon. More exclusive video content will be coming soon that will be members only, including a future range video. I love y'all. Thank you for the support. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's grow the channel, y'all. Hit the share button. Much love to the Gun Freak Nation. Salute, y'all.